First of all, let me thank the Nithm director, then organizing the team with Mahesh Reddy and others, because when I got this information about this international conference in collaboration with World Tourism, Cultural Tourism Association, then I was just looking at some of the research papers on cultural tourism, some of the reports, and started reading and looking at my presentations. Then, of course, most of the studies out of India, and very few empirical studies conducted on cultural tourism from Indian perspective. Keeping in mind the readings which are there from other side, and the conditions of the country in another aspect, just I started looking at my presentation, and then I just thought of the tourism sometime back, the literature wise or practice in terms of the essence of the tourism, the language of the tourism sometime back, it is not with certain terminologies like planning, destination management, and promotion, marketing, looking at tourism as a service and product, and as a whole, tourism as a business opportunity. All these are very recent past from the Indian context. And even up to 1980s, we never looked at tourism as an industry. Now we are all talking about tourism as an industry, and we see that this is most promising sector. I don't want to discuss much about its potential and other things. And now we have tourism as one of the major the contributor in any nation's economy. There are several evidences across the globe. But when we look at India, we have seen tourism taking different shapes in different formats. And the expansion of tourism is without any boundaries. When we look at culture from Indian perspective, I thought that can we customize cultural aspect of India? Can we customize cultural aspect of India? I think in the morning session, my colleague Sampath was talking about commodification of culture. Yes. Everything now meant for marketing, and everything can seen as a economic resource. Everything has some value. And in that perspective, if you look at culture, the culture has something, the potential, and culture has, a different dimension as a knowledge, because knowledge has power, knowledge has value, knowledge can be treated as a economic resource. We all know that. In that respect, I have some thoughts how we can look at the culture as a customized resource. Next. Yeah. If you look at this, the cultural, the tourism, we have been listening and then understanding its the scope across the globe, and it is emerging and developing domain of tourism. And if you see the western part and eastern part, you can see that we understand from tourism perspective. So we are experiencing western is more into the standardization of its products and services, and whereas eastern side we are just now emerging. And what we can learn from the western side as a standardized the practices, from that perspective, if you look at culture from the western part, so western part of the world is very rich in culture, and we have from that dimension you can see that how it is actually emerging across the globe. Then if you see that in the 1985, UNWTO looked at the cultural aspect, one of the important aspect in tourism, and given focus the promoting culture as a tourism resource. And here, if you see that India as a cultural, the land, here I would like to show you just 3 minutes, one video to see that what are the different cultural dimensions which we can treat as a product, or we can commodify that and then we can customize that. And I'll just explain how we can customize and commodify this, the cultural aspect of tourism. So this is culture of India. We can see several the facets of Indian culture. I don't know. Being a citizen of this nation, I feel always proud to have highest cultural diversity. And this, when you just look at from tourism perspective, how we can each form of this culture, traditions, norms, systems, customs, rituals, the dress, food, sports, games, movies, whatnot, everything has very unique blend of India. That is Akhanda Bharat. So in that respect, when you just see that the customization of all these from the business perspective or even from industry perspective, I have certain ideas to see how we can see that cultural, the tourist actually what they want. When we just see that the market of the cultural tourism, the tourism, the customer as a tourist has a different, the dimension, like, the be highly educated, and you can see that they stay longer and then they spend more time, and then be considered more recession proof. And you can see that there are very specific aspects of the cultural tourist. Then if you see the three important aspects of cultural and heritage, the tourist, and if you see that how they actually motivated to see the culture and how they inspired towards the culture, and then how incidentally you can see this, the tourist at the cultural the site, you have a kind of the theory that is there already, and from that perspective you can see that the industry in India, the focus more on the cultural aspect of the tourism products. Then key issues here in the cultural, the tourism, need more customization of the culture. But here, there are certain contradictions from the theory and as well as practice side. Can we customize the culture? For example, if you see that agri-tourism, and we are just looking at the agriculture fields, right? We are converting agriculture fields as the tourism products. Now we are talking about the rural tourism, and where we are not just adding anything, and we are just depicting the rural culture and traditions as a product. And then you can see that these days the yoga, even Ayurveda, the treatment. So most of these ancient the education and ancient the treatments, now we are customizing. For example, if you see this yoga, there are several asanas, but we are customizing as per the requirements of the client or even the customer other end, what they want, what for they are looking for the asanas. So accordingly, all these things can be customized. And then you can see the challenges when you just look at the customization of the cultural the aspects, offer the tourist the better experience on the ground. So when we look at the customer experience, and always we have our own the limitations in terms of the quality of services from the Indian perspective, how best we can offer, since we are very rich in the culture, but can we just treat this as a product and the service and offer the quality service? That is the one big challenge. When you look at the priorities here, and definitely we can see that we have the cultural richness, but the limitation is we are yet to learn or yet to discover how we can just make it as a perfect the perfect product, or how we can just promote in the market as one of the leading the composition of the tourism. And we all know that now leisure is taking lead, and at the same time we know that the issues related to heritage and then culture conservation and then production. At the same time, when we are ethical in offering the services, when we have a kind of value base, so definitely whatever that we are offering to the customer is going to take it in the right spirit, and then so we can protect our culture and then heritage without any damage. Then if you see that the customize and then communicate. So how best you can just customize and communicate, and that is more important, and then that depends on how we are offering and how we are training our people in terms of offering the culture as the product. So with that, so let me just conclude with certain the remarks by stating that, so people may object the commoditization and then customization of this culture, but when we are ethical and then value based, in our transaction with the customer, whatever the product that is in our hands, including culture and heritage, and there is no damage, and we can preserve and protect and respect our culture. Thank you very much.